For the past year, I've been traveling all around the world, and a lot of people ask me, how do you afford it? See, most people would work a job and save up a bunch of money and then take that money and go travel around. But the issue with that is that you'll eventually run out of funds and be stuck in a different country and have to come home. I wanted to find a way where I could continuously travel and not have to worry about running out of money and make it more of a lifestyle than just a vacation or a short trip. I also had to do it in a way that would be very low maintenance, and I wouldn't have to be too focused on running a business or upkeep of a certain job or clients. And so I had to think of a bunch of different ways I could make something called passive income. And if you're not sure what passive income is, it's when you're running a business or making money from somewhere and you're not really focused on running that business or dealing with employees or clients, and it's kind of when you're earning money in your sleep. And after trying a bunch of different techniques and methods, these are the top 4 best ways to make passive income while you're traveling. So my first method for passive income would be investing in dividend stocks. A dividend stock is when you invest your money into a stock and the stock pays you a certain percentage every month or year for owning part of that stock. So basically, if you were to invest $20,000 into a bank stock like TD or CIBC, which are our bank stocks here in Canada, the banks will pay you around 2 to 5% every quarter, year, or month for having your money invested with them. Dividend stocks can be extremely stable and great ways to make consistent money every month or year. And it's how most very wealthy people are making their main income, like Warren Buffett and other huge stock investors. Now, the only problem with dividend stocks is that it takes a lot of money invested in these companies to really see a good return. Because if you're only getting paid 3% every year of what you've invested, it can take sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars to make a livable wage. So at the moment, I only have a few $1,000s invested in dividend stocks, and I'm not making that much money, but still an extra couple $100s every month can go a long way when you're living in a place like Bali or Mexico, where the cost of living is much cheaper. My next way would be through what's called drop servicing. And that's when you take a service and basically outsource it to someone else for cheaper. I then keep the profit margin in between, and I don't really have to do any work. I just oversee it and make sure that everything is going well and the client is happy and my workers are doing the job properly. So I've been drop servicing social media management for businesses, and that's basically when you run their TikTok, their Instagram, and their Facebook pages. And instead of me actually doing the posting and running it for them and creating the content, I found someone in a country where they have a cheaper cost of living, like the Philippines, Mexico, or somewhere in Eastern Europe, who's just as capable as me, and I hire them to do it instead. So the client pays me somewhere around $400 a month, and then I'm paying someone around $150 a month to do the same job. The hard part with this is initially finding the clients, because you have to convince them to let you work for them and that you're going to do a good job for them and the service is going to be worthwhile. You don't have to just do this in social media management, but you could offer it in all kinds of different industries like website design, graphic design, SEO, anything really that you can think of that a service is someone may need, and you can basically outsource that to someone else to do it for you and just be the middleman and keep the profit in between the service you're offering. This is personally one of my favorite ways to make money from anywhere, and somewhat passively, because you can do it online, you can do it in any country, and it's really not that hard to get started because you don't need to know any real skill. You just have to be able to get the client. My third way would be through what's called print on demand on Etsy. Print on demand is a relatively new business model, and it's basically where you create a design on a shirt, a bag, or a water bottle on a site like Printify, and they make it for you and send it to the customer. You just do the designing and you create the product. So really, once you create the products and make the designs, they create the products for you physically and fulfill them to the customer, so you don't have to worry about any shipping or customer service. So what I've done is connected the print-on-demand products to my Etsy store, so I get all the sales from Etsy, and then they're fulfilled by the print-on-demand company. So I don't have to look for clients and I don't have to fulfill orders. All I do is create designs on shirts, list them on Etsy, and once someone buys it on Etsy, the company sends a shirt to the customer. This is probably the most passive business that you could think of, and that will be in this video, because once you create the listings and you create the designs, It's completely passive, as you don't have to worry about any of the other things that would come with running a small business. Now, of course, it's really not that easy as just setting up a listing and posting it to Etsy and becoming a millionaire overnight. You have to create good designs and good products that people are going to want to buy. And not only that, you also have to make lots of listings. This is a bulk game. You need to have multiple listings of all different products and different shirts and bags and different designs that people might be interested in, because if you just have one or two listings, there's really not that many people that might be interested in it. And it's going to take some time before your listing starts to get good reviews and build a reputation that people are actually going to trust it and want to order it. So don't expect to get rich overnight with this one, but if you can master, especially Etsy print on demand, it can really be beneficial for you while you're traveling, and you can be anywhere in the world, and it really is completely passive. I can talk more about this in another video, as there is a lot to cover and lots of different things I could say on the topic. And so my fourth and final point that is not as easy to get into, but really is the best way, in my opinion, to generate passive income long-term and build wealth and a career off of, would be through real estate investing. And by real estate investing, I mean by buying properties, renting them out, and collecting rent every single month. This has always been my main focus, and it's what I hope to do for the rest of my life and to kind of rely on as my main income source. Because sure, Etsy and print on demand can make you money here and there. We don't know how long-term that's going to be. Same with social media and drop servicing and all these other trendy things. Real estate has always been there, and people will always need a place to live. Personally, what I did when I was younger is I worked a lot and saved up a lot of money to basically come up with a down payment. And a down payment is the initial money you put down when you're buying a property. So I bought an apartment in a place called Calgary, which is kind of close to where I live here in Canada. The apartment was $150,000, so I came up with about 20% of that. So after you put the down payment on the property, you basically own it and you start paying a mortgage, which is the rest of the money that you owe to the bank. My mortgage and expenses come to about $500 a month. And I got a tenant that lives in that property that is paying about $1,500 a month, which is leaving me a profit margin of about $1,000 per month. My tenant who lives in the property signed a contract saying he'll be living there for 1 year. And he actually renewed it because he enjoys living there so much and he's a good tenant. He renewed it for a second year. And basically, once they sign the contract, they just pay rent every month to live there. And you collect rent and you make sure everything is okay, and you pay the expenses and you pay the mortgage. And after that, that's pretty much all you do. On top of making profit from rent every month, your apartment will usually increase in value. If you look at any market in the world, house prices have been going up continuously. In my case, like I said, I bought the apartment for $150,000. And just after a year of buying it, it's been reevaluated at $190,000. But unfortunately, it's not so easy to get into this type of business because I was lucky enough to have my parents who I used for the name on the apartment. Because in my country, in Canada here, we can't buy an apartment until you're 19. And I was 17 when I did this. So they put their name down and I funded it and I paid for everything. But I was lucky enough to have them where I could put their name as the main owner and on the title of the property. So even if I didn't make any profit from rent, I could turn around and sell the apartment and make a profit just by holding on to it as an investment, as you would with a stock. For this type of thing, you either have to have really nice parents that will help you out with putting your name down as ownership, or wait till you're about 19 years old when you can get a proper mortgage from the bank on your own and put your name down as the owner of the property. Because I'm now 19, I have had the property switched into my name and it's all under myself now. And with all those things combined, I have been making thousands of dollars every month from anywhere in the world and pretty passively while I've been traveling. Because they're all so low maintenance, I don't really have to deal with annoying customers or workers that are hard to take care of, and other types of headaches from a high maintenance small business. I can confidently leave to go traveling and consistently have money coming in every single month and not have to worry about being tied down to a physical job. There's a lot more I could say on all these topics because there is a lot to learn and they're not that simple, and it takes a lot of practice and education to really know how to do these things properly and how to make money from all these different types of businesses. But that will definitely come in some upcoming videos soon. Hopefully this video was helpful for you and gave you some ideas of different industries you could look into for passive income and money you can make from anywhere.